AshburtonMining.com.au is back, and today I am speaking with Luke Reinehr, the Executive Chair of Kalamazoo. Luke, it is a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
Oh, very well, Shay, and thanks for having this interview. We very much appreciate it.
Well, it is a great time to be talking all things gold, especially in regards to the Mount Olympus resource you have, which is located in your Ashburton project up in the Pilbara. First things first, you put an announcement out just recently that you have optimize the underground resource. So in relation to the Mount Olympus project, what does this actually mean?
Yeah, thanks, Shay. So just a bit of background. So the Ashburton Gold Project comprises 4 or 5 different deposits, and they've been historically mined over a period of time, or 20 years ago. We acquired this project from Northern Star in 2020, and just a bit of interesting information on that, Shay, is that when we purchased that project from Northern Star, the Aussie gold price was $2,500 an ounce. We did a fair bit of work on that project, put in a new mineral resource estimate. But then in January, February of last year, 2024, we actually entered into an option agreement with De Grey Mining, and we sold the project under option. And that was for $33 million. De Grey paid a $3 million option fee, a non-refundable option fee. And then over the next 18 months, undertook a lot of technical and drilling work, metallurgical work on that project. And the reason why De Grey wanted to purchase that project was for its Hemi project, which has been obviously pushing along for the last couple of years. And it was considered that the Ashburton resource would actually then go into the Hemi processing plant. So that's why we entered into that deal back in February last year. It was a terrific opportunity for us. Gold price at that stage, $3,100 Aussie. So obviously it's started to creep up. I think then, as a lot of people would appreciate, back in May of this year, De Grey were taken over by Northern Star. So it's quite an irony is that we bought the project from Northern Star, and then subsequently Northern Star, in effect, under option, has the potential to actually purchase the project back. At that stage, it looked like obviously that was going to be exercised, but then Northern Star, decided not to exercise the option. A whole range of reasons for that, but probably the reason being is that with the purchase of De Grey and now the Hemi project, it wanted to do a lot of design and technical work on the project, and the Ashburton was further down the track. So they declined to exercise the option, and that was at the end of July this year. Interestingly, the gold price at that stage now is 5,100 Aussie. So it continues to move up. So we then decided, okay, if that's the case, we're going to have the project. We're going to put this project into a scoping study, primarily around one deposit, which is the Mount Olympus deposit, which is the largest one at the Ashburton. So we've been progressing that scoping study. We've fast-tracked it. And lo and behold, the gold price today now is 6,300 Aussie. So it's now 150% higher than when we first purchased this project from Northern Star in 2020. What that means, Shay, is that the economics of this project has changed dramatically, as you can appreciate. The price is up significantly. So one of the things we've been doing, back to your question about the reoptimization of the project, is that the scoping study is based on the open pit at Mount Olympus. And that's been optimized around about 700,000 ounces. So the scoping study is looking at what's the optimal pathway to now bring that project into development. Obviously, it'll probably be less than 700,000 ounces because you'll be looking to do the best economic case for that, and you'll be looking at stripping ratios, etc. But what we did at the same time is that we looked to then see the underground potential at Mount Olympus. So we've done 2 things. We've looked at the underground resource and we've re-optimized that. And the reason we've re-optimized it is that when we put out our mineral resource estimate back in 2022, the Aussie gold price, 2,600. We did that at 2,600. So now we've re-optimized at a more conservative gold price of 4,500 Aussie. Again, well under the 6,300 spot price today. So that re-optimized underground resource has come in at about 174,000 ounces. In addition, on top of that, we've looked at an exploration target below that underground resource, and that's in the range of about 130 to 390,000 ounces. So call it a mid-range of about 260,000 ounces. So in total, if you look at that 260,000 ounce exploration target, the 174,000 underground resource, you're looking around about 450, 500,000 ounces. on top of what might be another 500,000 or 600,000 ounces at the Mount Olympus open pit. So now you're looking at a 1,000,000 ounce potential opportunity for the Mount Olympus project as our stage one. So economics, gold price helped us tremendously, Shay, and we think it's a pretty exciting time.
It certainly is. You've got some great tailwinds in your sails here. I wouldn't mind just focusing on the higher grade portion of the announcement that did come out. It's indicated that it's slightly higher underground. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, of course, Shay. So in the underground resource, there's some of the indicated resources within that. Up around about 4 grams a tonne. For gold. So that gives us great confidence that, obviously with a lot more drilling in regard to not just the underground resource, but also in regard to the exploration target, that we may be able to elevate the grade significantly higher. We're seeing some very high intersections at depth. So what that means, obviously, we've got to do a lot of work. We've got to do a lot of drilling over the next 12 months, and that's certainly our plan.
Well, before you get to that drilling, you hinted that there is a scoping study being fast-tracked. Tell me, when do we get a look at it?
Very soon, Shay. We've said all along it's going to be in Q4. We're pretty well just knocked off the first month of Q4 here. We expect it to be done or completed shortly. We've put a great range of consultants who are assisting us on this. We've done a lot of work. And I guess on top of that, as De Grey and Northern Star had this project under option for 18 months, they were fully responsible for it. And they undertook some significant work, metallurgy, drilling, a lot of exploration as well. And all that information and data has been provided to us. So that's a great leg up for us. That the quality of that work has been very high, and that has enabled us to fast track this scoping study. So that's why we've been able to actually progress it very quickly. And as I mentioned, we expect it to be released fairly soon.
Well, I will be waiting for that when it comes through. Listen, Luke, thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to our next chat.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shay.